would you pay for a Labubu? And how do you know that you can trust the person who's selling it to you to tell the truth? Today we are diving into the black market of Labubu resellers to figure out what it really costs to not get scammed. And we're doing that by attempting to buy 3 ultra rare super secret ID Labubus from 3 different sellers. And yes, I did meet a Labubu dealer in a Burger King parking lot for this episode, but we'll get to that. Hello Internet, welcome to Style Theory, the show that's gone down the Labubu rabbit hole so you don't have to. Or at least to try and save you from shelling out big money on a Lafufu. Wait, you haven't heard of Lafufu? Oh, it might be too late for you, but here's the TLDR version. Official Labubus are sold by a company called Popmart. They are collectible art that you can display in your room, hang on your bag, or just take with you everywhere like they're your actual child. No judgment, I love seeing the pictures that people post of their Labubus out and about on the town. It's so cute. The only 100% way to get an official Labubu is to get one from Popmart, whether in store or on their website when they have a Labubu drop. These things usually happen at 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays, but no, it's not as easy as just turning up on time and getting a Labubu.
It's kind of like that scene from Mean Girls.
Mom, can you pick me up? I'm scared.
People are vicious. Okay, but like, what if you have a snufufu and Mr. Labubu drop poo-poo? No, Amy, this is a serious matter.
Whether you're a parent trying to get your hands on one for your kids, a collector looking to expand their collection, or say a person on YouTube trying to teach people how to not get scammed, all of us will have to turn to resellers. And here's the hard truth. Resellers are just people, and sometimes people lie. And so instead of selling you the authentic thing, they sell you a fake, or as the fandom calls it, a Lafufu. But how do you know who to trust and who's just gonna take your money and run? I mean, none of us want to be the kid who shows up to show and tell with a Lafufu and calls it a Labubu. The whole class will laugh. I don't want to do that. And that's why I'm here. We are going to go through this whole process together using 3 of the most popular reselling methods to figure out how to spot a scam either online or in person, which I do not recommend because I am a professional, and I am also bringing a safety buddy because safety is the most important thing here, with our trusty friend Labubu. Welcome Blueberry, the Style Theory Labubu. Will we find Labubu gold, or will we just be left feeling like a fool? You'll have to wait till the end of the episode where we grade our 3 Labubus to find out. But you want to know something that always leaves me feeling like a golden goddess? Midas Merge. It's my newest mobile game addiction where you get to team up with the mythical golden duo of King Midas and Queen Naya to revive the Garden of Gold. No joke, I have been playing this a ton when I need to take a break from scripting or in between takes as I catch my breath. And that's why I am so happy that they are partnering with us for this episode, because now I get to make you play it with me. I am extremely picky when it comes to games, especially on my phone where I am constantly battling with my storage space. What can I say? I love to take a photo. But Midas Merge hits all the right buttons in my brain. 1, it's based on Greek mythology, so if you grew up loving Percy Jackson, this is the game for you. And the character design is peak. I mean, why wouldn't it be? These are the same game designers as Sims 3 and 4. Listen, I know that Nyx is supposed to be the villain of the game, but she's my favorite character. I mean, just look at her. Look at her. Us goth girlies, we have to stick together. 2, it's a matching game where you match and merge, get it, merge, different items to gain gems that you can use to help upgrade your garden. If you need that quick dopamine rush of accomplishment, this game has got you. And finally, number 3, the cuteness. Throughout the game, you collect and take care of a variety of cute creatures without shelling out hundreds of actual dollars. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Labubu. My personal favorite is the Mox Fox. And I mean, why wouldn't it be? Look at it. It is just a fantasy red panda. It is so cute. And guess what? If you click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen, the first 100 people to download and install the game will get their very own Mox Fox. Why, you ask? Well, because Midas Merge and I just think you're that awesome. That's why. And together, we can heal the Golden Garden. What are you waiting for? Scan the QR code on screen before it disappears. 3, 2, 1. And we are going to find out just what the cost of authenticity actually is on our quest to get our hands on this rainbow tooth baddie, starting with the one that most of you are probably familiar with. While Labubus are everyone's favorite 2025 fashion accessory, they are technically collectibles, just like Pokemon cards, Beanie Babies, and even fancy sneakers. This means that there are already websites devoted to making buying a second-hand or resold item as easy as possible. Most of these companies function as a middleman for a person-to-person sale, which means that you're not buying from the actual company, but from an individual. This is your Mercari, your Poshmark and Depop, and of course, good old granddaddy eBay. The biggest issue with online person-to-person sales is that there really is no way to guarantee that what you're getting is the real deal.
Now, sites like eBay do offer an authenticity guarantee, but it only applies to specific types of items.
According to eBay's website, the only items currently eligible are watches, sneakers, streetwear, trading cards, handbags, and other luxury accessories. Now, the only one of these options that would potentially pertain to Labubu is that last one. Except, as of the recording of this episode, it doesn't. Even though people love to use their Labubus as bag charms, aka a fashion accessory, and the fact that arguably it could be considered a luxury item by some definitions, according to eBay's, it doesn't count. So while it may mean that eBay is the best place to go if you're a sneakerhead looking to get an authenticated pair of hard-to-get kicks, it does mean that for us, we're left wandering through a bunch of listings like a soldier on a minefield, hoping that we don't get scammed and that the price of a real one isn't as much as our rent.
There are 3 major signs of a scam listing. The first is the photos.
Much like YouTube thumbnails, the first thing most people notice when they're scrolling are the pictures. So the first thing to look out for is a photo that has some very obvious flaws.
And then there are the ones that just clearly don't look like an official Labubu. They'll have discolored fur, very odd face shapes, and their body proportions will be all over the place.
These fakes are typically made from cheaper, lower quality materials and can be produced in bulk for a low price to the reseller. This means that those resellers can then turn around and sell their Lafufus for retail price or lower. That's a red flag.
Also, count the teeth. Here, we'll use this one. All Labubus have 9 teeth. If you have more than 9 teeth, it's not a Labubu. They also come straight out of the mouth line and have even spacing between all teeth. So if your Labubu looks like it got punched in the facesusu, it's not a Labubu. Now, yes, depending on the photos, this one can be harder to tell, but it's a good thing to know nonetheless.
Now, these are only some ways to spot a Lafufu. We'll be talking about more as we go on.
And then there's the listing itself. You want to pay careful attention to the wording that it uses.
Many flip their titles with as many words as possible, front-loading the biggest selling words like Labubu, secret or hidden ID, and Popmart. While all of these are official terms, when you look a little closer, you start to notice the other red flags. Titles that include words like DIY, meaning it's a remake and not official.
This is a way for resellers to try to trick you without actually breaking eBay's terms of service. Because while eBay won't guarantee that what you're getting is an actual Labubu, it is still against their rules to sell a fake but say it's real. Because doing that can get the reseller banned. I mean, I almost fell for this one myself, but I did catch myself with rule number 2.
Check the reviews. Many listings will reuse photos from other listings or from the official Popmart website to try and trick you. But the reviews speak for themselves.
They're all calling Lafufu on this resell Lulu.
In the end, we went with this listing, which in total cost us $163.84, including tax and shipping. Now, we went with this listing for a few different reasons. 1, there were no red flags in the title or description to indicate a DIY or fake. 2, the seller's rating and reviews were pretty positive. No accusations of Lafufus found here. And 3, it came in a sealed box. Now, this could be good or bad. I mean, if they haven't opened the box, how do they know that it's the ultra super mega rare secret ID version? Well, that's an answer that I couldn't find online, and I don't want you to have to pay to find out for yourself. So I will be our guinea pig in this version of seal or no seal. And this is our little friend from eBay. Now tell me, do you think this is real or Lafufu? Make your guess now because we'll be grading them all at the end of the episode. If braving the wild, wild west of eBay listings or other sites like that is a little too risque for you, then there is a safer bet: the Authenticated reseller. While eBay will only guarantee the authenticity of some items, there are some reselling sites out there that do it for
everything sold on their site.
Goat gives items its goated approval after it goes through Goat's team of trained authenticity specialists, ones who inspect details from the label to stitching, texture to color, and so much more, at least according to their website.
StockX, on the other hand, only does in-person authentication, not any of the digital stuff, unless that seller is a part of their StockX verified seller program. And they do it for everything on their site, even Labubu's. Now, I want to stress that while I think this is the least risky option, it's not foolproof. Pretty much nothing on a secondhand seller market is. Sites like Goat and StockX have had counterfeits slip through their authentication process.
But for buyers, this is pretty much as close to a guarantee as you can get. Now, we bought from StockX for a number of different things on this channel. We bought Pringles Crocs and the Labubus that we opened in our first episode, and we have personally never had an issue.
But let's see how that did for us today. Now, we bought this option, which when we bought it wasn't listed at $205 but $291. But as you can see by this receipt, adding in tax and shipping, we paid $373.97 for one Labubu.
So this is our StockX Labubu. Let's see what happens. Okay. Here is our StockX Labubu. Now tell me, do you think this is real or lafufu? Because we still have one more to go. The final and honestly most difficult and risky option of the entire episode is to get yourself a Labubu dealer. Yes, a dealer. We are talking about the actual black market of Labubu resellers. And there are a lot of pros and cons of going this route.
Going with a dealer is likely your most affordable option. It usually has a smaller markup and you save on shipping and tax fees if you can meet them in person.
Most dealers get their hands on their Labubus by buying them overseas in China where they originate, and then bringing them back to their own country in their luggage to sell.
Which doesn't seem so bad, right? I mean, it's just like when you go on a trip and you bring your family home present, except this time you're doing it for a profit. However, most of them are doing it illegally. And so yeah, this wasn't clickbait, this is an actual black market of Labubu.
Many of these dealers aren't declaring their Labubu stowaways at customs, which legally you have to do. They do this to avoid paying excess fees like import taxes, custom duties,
and of course, the dreaded tariffs.
When companies bring in goods from other countries, they have to pay an importing tariff, which as of the recording of this episode is set at 30% on items from China. Since these dealers are bringing in items with the intent to sell for their own personal business, side hustle or not, they should be paying this for each item that they bring in.
But they don't want to. Not only would it cut into their profits, it would mean that they can't sell it for the lowest cost on the reseller market. Labubus in China retail for less than they do here in the US, meaning that if you buy it there and bring it back here, you can sell it for the price that they sell it for at Popmart and still make a profit, but only if you skip those fees.
But this is getting harder and harder to do. As Labubus become more and more mainstream, the ability to sneak them into the country gets harder and harder.
Now, Chinese customs agents are confiscating Labubus from international smugglers. Hundreds of the toys have been seized at airports across the country since April as resellers look to profit on a growing black market.
But how can we get our hands on them? Well, that answer is a little more complicated.
First off, I want to make something crystal clear. I am not recommending that you go and meet a stranger from the internet and put yourself in an unsafe situation. Please be safe, have a buddy, and do not give your personal information to a stranger that you do not know, both online or in real life. Cool? Cool, let's continue.
Now, originally, we did try to get in contact with a dealer that a friend of the channel had been using. They were previously very reliable and had only sold official Labubus.
However, we hit a bit of a snag. They ghosted us. Whether they were scared off by customs agents or just hadn't charged their cell phone in a while, I don't know. But that road was at a dead end. And that meant that we had to switch to plan B.
Finding a Labubu dealer is a tricky thing. If you can't get a connection by word of mouth,
or the person leaves you on red,
then you have to turn to the places where your original contact met their dealer in the first place. There are Facebook groups and marketplaces, as well as Reddit pages and Discord servers dedicated to connecting in search of buyers with reliable resellers offering a fair price. Heavy quotation marks in use.
We needed to find someone who was local, someone who wasn't selling it for a huge markup, and someone whose photos were legitimate enough to merit this whole trip to go meet them in person. Because yes, we are meeting them in person, and no, I don't recommend you go meet strangers by yourself. Please, safety first. Now, we did end up finding a match over on Facebook Marketplace, which, yes, I know how reliable Facebook Marketplace can be, but our original contact met their dealer there, so it felt like the best option to do, even if their dealer, ghosted us. Yeah, I feel totally great about this.
After verifying that the alleged Labubu was still for sale, we arranged a time to meet, which was surprisingly not easy to do. Here is a dramatic reenactment inspired by one of my favorite videos of all time. Is this still available? I can do a pickup. Hi, yes, it's still available. Sure, let me know around what time. Is it possible to pick this up on Friday? Yes, will do. I can come between 11:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. Sorry, just saw your message. Can you come by now? Oh, wait, you said Friday. Yeah, sorry, it's a bit of a drive. Is that still okay? I promise I'll come and get it. Oh, okay. Can you come by in 2 hours? It was still Tuesday. I still need to come on Friday and need the full address of where to go. Is that okay? Oh, yes, that's fine. Friday. I'll message when I head over. And so we headed off to meet our dealer in a Burger King parking lot. Yep, after driving for over half an hour, we had arrived and had heard nothing back from our Labubu dealer for over an hour. Just got to the Burger King. Are you nearby? 10 minutes later. ... Hello? Okay. Give me 5 minutes, please. I need to change my daughter's diaper. We have a poo-poo problem during the Labubu sale. Labubu? Listen, I respect a hardworking parent, and roughly 5 minutes later, our dealer rolled into the parking lot for our black market exchange to finally take place. I met our Labubu dealer at their car, and we exchanged goods through the window. I don't think I've ever felt so Breaking Bad in my entire life. In total, we spent $60 on our black market Labubu. Thank you! Yee! We got it. It might be the real thing. And if so, that means that we got this for what is almost like asking price. And then we went through all the online hoops for nothing. Is this a real boo-boo? Is it real? We'll have to go check. We have our Labubu inspection to do. Yay!
Labubu inspectu.
An inspectutu of Labubu. This is our dealer Labubu. It came in an open bag but no box with a little bit of bubble wrap wrapped around the inside. So let's take a little look. Whoop. This is our Labubu from our dealer. What if any of our ultra rare resold Labubus are actually real? Make your final guesses in 3, 2, 1. Let's review. Let's start with the one most likely to be real, which is our one from StockX, which, reminder, cost us a whopping $373.97. I hope you're worth it. A Lafufu will have bad fur or bad color consistency, and this one is pretty good. It has the little bit of color gradient, but doesn't seem too extreme. And then you have the face. All Labubus have a pale peach face with a matte finish, and this one seems pretty perfect. Not bad so far, StockX. Its teeth also check out. We have 9 little rainbow teeth with no weird gaps, and they all come straight from the mouth. Then there are some authenticity signs you can really only see in real life, like the UV stamp on the foot. Now this will glow under a black light, meaning it is a real Labubu. Now some Lafufus will have this, but it is very rare and it's hard to do. Though some counterfeiters do know that you will be checking your Labubu's feet, so they've started trying to put their own stamps there to try and trick a less informed buyer. Then there is the label. Fake labels will have a smooth, plasticky finish where the real ones will be raised and you can feel the actual grooves of the fabric tag. And then you have the articulation. If the feet
feet, neck, or hands turn easily, then you know it is a Lafufu. So by my grading, and by the grading of StockX itself, it seems like we have an official secret ID ultra rare Labubu right here. And that means that we have a new friend for Blueberry. Let's go back to our friend from eBay. Now reminder, this one cost us $163 and some change. I think there is a pretty obvious difference between these two different Labubus. The color is different. This one has a lot more inconsistencies inside the text of the actual tag, as well as an off-centered, oddly small Popmart moment. I can also see some places where the fur doesn't actually come out where it's supposed to. Here on the ear, you can see that the hair does not start at the tan mark line. And along the face, there is an odd fold right here by where the face is meant to start, meaning that the fur doesn't go all the way around. Then we have a bad stitching situation going on along the butt, and we have some misprinted paint on the feet. Speaking of, these feet are very, very loose, which is not a good sign. Again, Labubus have some articulation, but it's not meant to be as exorcist as this. So I think we can officially say that eBay was a scam. $163 scam. If they're telling you that they know that inside this sealed box is a secret ID Labubu, they're probably full of la poo-poo. But I'm happy to learn that lesson so that you don't have to. And finally, we have to grade the Labubu from our Labubu dealer. Not only did it not come with a card, but its feet came turned. And it feels a little Ozempic Labubu, meaning that it feels a lot flatter. The body isn't shaped the way it's meant to. It turns a little weird. The printing on the tag is off. It has a different coloration than it's supposed to. And the fur, like the one before it, is just not right. I don't know if you can see that, but there's some dirt in that Labubu's eye, meaning that it wasn't really done with the best of care like an official Labubu. So between the Ozempic body and the over-articulation, the dirt in the eye, the hairline is just wrong, as well as some oddities in the teeth where they don't quite meet the mouth line. These are all signs that you are dealing with a Lafufu. Now, this was only a $60 mistake, but it was probably one of the big signs in the first place. Most people are not going to be giving away $60 secret ID Labubus when they could be charging upwards of closer to $400 for that Labubu. We ended up with just one real Labubu and two not quite convincing Lafufus. But without the one from StockX, I might have fallen for the one from eBay. The dealer one, not so much. It does kind of feel like the evolution of man chart here, from the little one to the bigger one. But these results mean that we finally have the answer to what is the cost of authenticity. And the truth is, pretty pricey. If you can't manage to snag one during a Popmart drop, your best options are to do one of two things. One is making sure that you get to see that secondhand Labubu in person so that you can assess it yourself before you pay for it. Lesson learned there. Or two, you have to follow our checklist and be ready to shell out some big bucks to make sure that you are not being Lafu fooled.
But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep shopping smart. Up next on Style Theory.
Who packs the best bag, millennials or Gen Z?